Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. As the European Union advances its clean industrial deal to transform decarbonization into a growth driver, concerns about energy security and industrial competitiveness remains paramount. Joining us today on TVP World to discuss these pressing issues is Martin Kubů, Director of Fuels, Biofuels and Renewables Division at AGROFERT. Now, Mr. Kubů offers valuable insights into Europe's industrial and energy challenges. Oh, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Thank you. Good morning from Prague.
So, sir, can you first help us lay out what this clean industrial deal is all about, and how is it supposed to transform the idea of decarbonization into something that's more of a growth driver?
There are a few key elements mentioned in the clean industrial plan or deal. The first and the cornerstone is to achieve or to improve affordability of energy for European businesses and households. Then, of course, as a part of that, to boosting demand for clean products, or let's say decarbonized product. Then next topic inside of clean industrial deal is how to finance. It means to launch a financing the clean transition, and there are also, let's say, topics like circularity and access to materials. Generally, say we have to appreciate that this act has been introduced by European Commission, but openly speaking, it's let's say too general, and it looks like that there are no clear answers how we as Europe we are able to achieve it, and mainly when, because of we are now in a relatively stressed situation from the new situation worldwide, and there are no clear answers. Let's say how all implementation of these ideas, how long it will take, or what we will do to achieve it. Right. Mainly regarding affordability energy, because this is the more critical issue today for businesses as well as for households in Europe.
So from what I've gathered, this so-called deal has more of a general direction of what they want to achieve, but not a lot of details yet in how to go about achieving that. Does that deviate from the previous kind of a more green-oriented approach that was previously being pursued by the European Union?
This clean industrial deal practically still presumes that the way how to reduce the prices for energies in Europe go through decarbonization and through, let's say, more and more green energy, and it should be then further developed in the so-called affordable energy action plan, which should be later on introduced. But it seems to be that all actions mentioned in this plan will take quite a long time, and the question is whether we have enough time now to go through this relatively long pathway.
Right, so like you mentioned, perhaps time is of the essence right here. If it were up to you, what specific measures would you recommend the European Commission take to kind of enhance the competitiveness of European industry under these new deal?
I think that the question is, of course, the price of electricity and price of nat gas, yeah, because let's say keeping in mind that and it was already recognized by so-called Draghi's report that our prices in Europe for energy is 4 times higher for nat gas and maybe 3 times higher compared to US. Then of course it's very hard to survive in this environment, mainly in energy intensive industry like chemicals and cement industry, etc. It means, let's say, the right time is to raise the question, let's say, what are tools possessed by European Commission to, for example, fastly reduce the prices. And according to myself, there are only one available tool now, and this is EU ETS allowances, because of this is a, let's say, very important part of electricity price today in Europe, and let's say this is the only way to somehow think about reform to change to cap or to interrupt applicability of ETS1 principles, because today price of CO2 relevant, which is above 70%, it's heavily influencing the price of electricity through whole Europe.
Right now, a lot of people are feeling pressured by that increased energy costs, and there's even rumors starting to float about in trying to restart energy dealings with Russia once the war is over. Even the foreign minister of Russia is talking about potentially restarting Nord Stream pipelines. Do you think that that is a possibility?
Of course, any increase of competition on the energy market may lead into the situation, but primarily, I suppose that it's rather to concentrate ourselves into real situation in Europe, and then let's say CO2 allowances are the main price driver for electricity as of today. It means capping this might lead into immediate and very fast drop down of electricity price, which may lead into better situation on energy markets for businesses and for households. It means, let's say, to reopen not gas pipelines maybe will not solution for this. And still, we have to keep that we already decided not to be dependent on Russia fossil molecules. It means there are other tools which might be utilized inside of European Union, like CO2 allowances.
Now, do you think that this will have a larger impact on the political will in carrying it out because of, again, the huge energy prices might change voter patterns in some shape, way, or form, or perhaps push the politicians to pursue something that is, well, perhaps going away from the traditional, more green strategy when it comes to energy and pursue ways to try and lower that prices?
No, I think that this is a very, let's say, to think about revision of EU ETS system or price of CO2 allowances. It's, let's say, a very good tool because it doesn't require to open imports of fossil molecules from Russia, but it may have an immediate effect on energy prices in Europe, and we have to think about whether we are willing to revise already existing principles like EU ETS system, or to rather think about reopening of imports. Definitely, my vote goes with rescheduling or revision of ETS to ETS1 system. Because now practically 1/4 of energy price in Europe is just driven by EU ETS price. It means there is chance to immediately change it and to reduce the price of electricity to be even more comparable to US, for example.
Now, I would like to tap into your expertise a little bit when it comes to the Czech Republic, and I'm wondering if this clean industrial deal on Central and Eastern European countries might actually have any immediate impact on the economy of the Czech Republic.
Definitely, as I said before, I think that it's a long run to achieve all these goals, and I don't think so that it will have an immediate effect to increase competitiveness of CE economy. Openly speaking, there are plenty of promises, but what is missing is a time, and what is also missing, there are, let's say, quite concrete actions to take it immediately, because we are in problems now. Not after a decade. We are in problems now. We are losing competitiveness as of today. And we are speaking about, let's say, problems in the chemical industry and steel industry and many others. And let's say, there are plenty of initiatives like, I don't know, call of action in transport, which was, let's say, signed a week ago in Warsaw, or day before there was a new call for action from Chemical Association, headquartered from Brussels, CEFIC. It means there are plenty of initiatives to really act immediately. Let's say, not wait for a long time.
All right, so we'll have to see how that shapes out. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your input and insight. Really appreciate it. And thanks for being with us on TVP World.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. For more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.